My daughter bought a house. It's just a small single story, 24 by 32-ish. Single story, does have a loft. It's built on piers or sonotubes, concrete posts. And there's one support in the middle, but there's one section of it that's sagging. Looks like someone had repaired it before or attempted to repair it before, and that has sunken in. So that's my job today, is to try to rectify that. So I'm going to do a couple supports where there's currently one that's not doing so well. I built these foundations, sort of like cross-laminated timber, pressure treated. They're 16 inches square, made with 2x6. And then a 2x6 on top. I'll mount a vertical 4x4 and cut it the length I need. These other 5x5 basically are to be the top to spread the load of the 4x4 across the three. I think they're 2x6s or 2x8s. That's the center beam that hold up the center of the floor. So you should be able to see quite a bit of a sag. That is a 2x8. It's a triple, so it's three of them put together, not quite 6 inches across underneath. There's the center post, which appears to be holding up well. I'm not sure what sort of preservation they might have put, this very damp soil. It's heavy clay around here, but the other side of it is actually pretty straight. So this span is about 16 feet. If I divide that by 3, that would be about 5 feet between this support, the end of the wall. So I'll put 5 foot between the two additional supports I'm going to put in. So I'm going to start jacking. This will be one support right here. I'll start jacking just to the right of that, where that little divot is. You might be able to see this piece of wood came out of there, just a wee bit on the rotten side. You can see that the brick and the wood, the concrete block, tipped a bit. It's not usual to build a house like this in the Northeast. Normally they're full basements, or at least a frost wall. This is piers with a relatively small crawl space. So I'm guessing it probably was a cabin initially. I mean, it's obviously insulated. Spray foam is relatively new. I think this house is about 30, maybe 40 years old. So I'll dig a flat spot there to put my jack and sort of the temporary footing, if you will, to set on the ground. Relatively loose. It's not that hard packed. It is pretty damp and pretty dense. Heavy clay. That might be a concrete footing of some sort. That's what it looks like it is. I'm not going to try to resurrect that thing. Looks like there might have been a more permanent one, and this is sort of midway of the span, but I'm going to put 2 in that will bridge the piece of wood. All right. not critical, but even for this temporary jacking, I want to have it somewhat level. That's good that way. It's going to come down a bit. I have this piece of 5/8 steel to put over there. That will spread the jacking force amongst the 3 2x8s. So what may happen is I may compress the earth some and then I'll reset and jack it up again. So there's not a lot of weight, it's really just a floor, no load-bearing walls, it's going up very easy. But I can see the wood sinking into the ground too at about the same clip as it's going up. Just for measurement, that's a foot right now, I've probably gone up at least a 1/2 inch. Yep, so I'm going to jack a bit more, make sure the wood is settled into the ground. I'll go in the house, make sure there's nothing funky happening. If we crack some drywall, that's expected. Down like 1/8 of an inch. Almost 1/4 of an inch. Yeah, I've done this before, and it really can take several days. Just do a little bit at a time, let things settle, jack it some more, settle, jack it some more. That's a good 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to go inside, make sure there's nothing weird happening. But before I do that, I put the level on this. So on 4 feet, we still have a good inch to go, just in a 4-foot span. So it was sagging quite a bit. It's not loose yet. So I'll check the inside and be back. All looks good inside. So I'm going to let this down. It is squishing into the wood there quite a bit. So I will release that, reset it. Probably have enough room for 1.5 inches, so I don't compress that so much, and put the steel on this piece instead. So I'll see what my original level was. See, look at that. Boy, talking 2 inches or more of that settling into the ground. For some reason I get air in this pump all the time. I'm going to bleed it out. It's a 12-ton jack, which should be plenty. So let's see, we started out here on a reference point, just under 12 inches. So yeah, we hit projected up about a half inch. This is not going to be fun. 12.5, so 1/2 to 5/8 of an inch. You can see here there's daylight between the concrete block and that pressure treated piece of wood, so we've brought that up at least 1/4 of an inch or close to 1/2, but it's still sagging that section, so a couple more pumps. That you can see there how much that sunk in. It's probably sunk in 2 or 3 inches. Unreal. Well, 12 and 9/16, so a lot of pumping for not much more progress. I brought it up 3/4 of an inch. I was able to slide these two pieces sort of on the upper end of this the original, well, temporary fix-it blocks. They were sort of at an incline, so I'm using that to my advantage. Took the brick out, put a 2-inch piece, but my block is starting to tip. You can see one corner of the jack is really eating into the side of that 2-inch piece I put on top. I have pressure treated, which is probably more resistant to that. So get as much as I can from that, let the weight off the jack, and rearrange my blocks. It is a week later now, and I did get both of these supports in with a 16x16 pressure treated base. It settled a little bit, I think. I didn't really make any measurements, but not out of sight. But what I needed was this, I made up a 8x6 beam, essentially, so I can span those depressions successfully, I hope, where some of the old supports were. And I have some 6x6 pieces of plywood, 3/4 inch, and some either 3/8 or 1/2 inch. Just slowly try to work it up to get it a reasonable height. Probably won't be completely level, but it should be a lot better than it was. Alright, I've swapped sides now. Get back on this side. Sounds like there might be something about the split. Yeah. Look at how deformed that plywood is. Try to take another bite. I'm going to upright this a bit because the the beam is a little bit uneven from one side, sinking more than the other. Work. Back on the other side again. Got 3/4 piece of plywood in there. Well, I think I'll call it good. Probably for the winter. I may address it a bit later on. It's better than it was. 2 supports instead of 1. Guessing I made at least half, 3/4 of an inch net gain, meaning after settling for a week. But it's noticeably different, but there is still a bit of a sag. I don't know how easy it is to see on the video. But now it's just take my stuff out.